I mean, it was better than Alien 3 and 4. Hello, my name is Bro McCloskey and welcome to Bro Knows Movies, and right now I'm doing my first movie review for Alien Covenant. I would like to say that I'm going to go into the stuff that I did not like first, and then save for the stuff I did like, and this is spoiler free, so if you haven't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil. So the stuff I didn't like or I was disappointed about was that it didn't give that alien suspense feel to it, because the thing that made Alien a masterpiece was that you would see or hear the alien, like you'd see the alien like through the motion thing, and you'd hear it, but you wouldn't actually see it, and you know it's right there, and you build that suspense up, and then you see it last second, and then it's just like boom. You know, like the thing about Alien that made Alien so scary was that it built suspense, and that was the scary part. It wasn't visual, and that's something that Alien Covenant really lacked. It was everything that was just visual and right there, up close. You know, this is the horror in your face. It wasn't building the suspense in your mind, because that's the scary stuff. That's what I love about horror movies, is when the horror is up here, not on the screen, because then you're just going through, like, you don't know what's gonna happen. And you're scared because, like, you know something's right there. And Alien Covenant was just like, yeah, you know something's right there because we're showing it to you. You know, it didn't give that alien suspense to it. And so I feel like for a horror movie, it was just more visual, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of visual horror movies as much as I am suspense horror movies, like, you know, mental horror movies. Also, something I kind of had a problem with, I feel like Prometheus, David he was an amazing character. David was an amazing character. In Alien Covenant, I didn't like him. I didn't like David at all. Not like actor-wise or character-wise, like, you know, like Negan. Like, you hate Negan, but you love him because you hate him so much. This one, David, you just didn't like his involvement in the movie. You're just like, he was weird. He was just a little too weird. I'm just saying it there because I don't want to go into spoiler stuff. I'm just saying he was weird. The sets in this movie were amazing. The aliens weren't. They were, I mean, if you've seen some behind the stuff like I have, they had a person in a costume, in an alien costume, and then they just masked it over with CGI, and I didn't like it. It wasn't scary. The thing, also, I feel like the Xenos were just a little too jumpy. I'm gonna explain this. In the first Alien, it's not jumping everywhere, it's just like crawling, except you don't see it crawl or hang down, grab Brett and jump up. Or even at the end when it killed Parker and Lambert, you know, it was just walking towards them doing this. It's just like, damn, I don't want to mess with that. But when they're jumping, they're just a little too animalistic. And there was one scene, one little shot, it wasn't even a scene, it was just a shot, where you saw the alien walk into the room, and it was just walking, and I was just like, that's Alien. I loved that. That just little shot snippet that was like 3 seconds. I was just like, that's a great shot of where you can just see it walking in, because a lot of the times it was crawling, and I didn't like it. Also, they had a little scene I kind of had a problem with. It was they just had a little snippet, or a couple snippets of the alien's point of view, and I didn't like it at all. Don't do that, you know. And also, the end of the movie, you know, when they're like, oh, it's on the ship, where is it? And you can see it on the monitor, you can see the little blip, and you're just like, that's Alien, where you can see the blip, and you can hear it, but you can't actually see it, you don't know where it is exactly. And then they showed, like, the real monitor, like the camera monitor, where it shows the alien, like, running through the halls, and, like, or crawling through the halls. I was just like, that's not scary at all. You know, that's not Alien. That's not Alien. Like, like the thing, the aliens did as well. When they're in the room and they cut the power, and so it's all red in there, and they're looking at the motion trackers, and they're like, oh, they're right outside the door. Whoa, shit, they're in the room. How is that possible? And then just last minute, boom, they drop down from the ceiling. That's suspense. That's the suspense that Alien created that everyone loved, and this movie just lacked it a lot. Okay, now to the stuff that I really liked. This is what Prometheus should have been, and I feel like that this movie just kind of had to happen. I feel like Ridley Scott is planning something big, and he just had to get this out of the way because it was very jumpy. Like it was kind of slow at some parts where you're just kind of like, get on with it, please, you know. And but when they would get into trouble, it was cool. It was cool. It wasn't like, whoa, this is. It was just cool, you know. Like the that backburster. That was a gruesome scene. It was cool. It was just, I was just like, whoa, that's scary and it's cool. Or that the chestburster scene. It was cool. It was kind of weird, but it was cool. You'll see what I'm talking about when I say it's weird. It was weird, but it was cool. The face hugger scenes, there's 2 face hugger scenes that you really see. Those were cool. That was Alien, because in the first time you see a face hugger and it jumps on to the person and it's like really wrapping around, you can see it tightening. That was the stuff that fans haven't seen but they wanted to see. You know, it wasn't because something that directors need to understand is that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. You know, if you have the capability with CGI to make the alien be jumping around, that doesn't mean you should do it, because that's not as scary as the alien just walking in and then just killing you, like, because it builds the suspense when you can't see it and then you see it last minute. You know? Yeah, and then the other facehugger scene. I'll put a link to the clip down below, but there's a clip of the other facehugger scene I'm talking about where the 2 guys, you know, like it's running towards them. That was cool because it was, you can hear it and then just boom, it jumps out, and that was the suspense I was talking about. Now this movie, it wasn't horrible. I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it because it wasn't Alien. It was something else. And so if it were its own movie, I would have liked it more. But because it was Alien, I just had a problem with it. And so there were scenes where it was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's really cool. It's just not Alien. You know? And they left the ending open, so I'm curious to see. I am curious, like, I want to know more. But I'd much rather have Neil Blomkamp's Alien sequel. I want, as great of movie monsters the xenomorphs are in like horror, they are phenomenal action monsters, or aliens. They are phenomenal action creatures if you do it right, and we've only done it right once with Aliens. We couldn't do it with Alien Resurrection and Alien vs. Predator movies. We couldn't do it. They didn't do it right, so it wasn't as cool. But if you do it right, like in Aliens, if you give the suspense, if you take the suspense in Alien and just add a little action to it, that's what I want. That's what this movie didn't do. It just threw in horror and action. Well, some horror, some action. This movie, it was, again, I feel like it just had to happen. He just kind of had to get it out of the way. So I'm going to be honest, Alien Covenant, I was so excited for it. It kind of let me down. It was good. It wasn't great. I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was better than 3 and 4. It was what Prometheus should have been. No, I'm not bashing on Prometheus because Prometheus is good. But it's just I wanted more aliens in Prometheus, and we didn't get that. Now I heard that Ridley Scott is making a sequel to Alien Covenant, except it's not a sequel. It's actually a prequel to Alien Covenant and a sequel to Prometheus. So it's going to take place in between. And if they do that, if he is doing that, I don't know for sure, that's just what I've heard. If he is doing that, here's what I want. The Deacon at the end of Prometheus, I want to know more about that. I feel like that is what should have been in Alien Covenant, not the Neomorphs. I feel like the Neomorphs, why? The Neomorphs, why? I understand some stuff. I understand, I just didn't like the Neomorphs, honestly. I wanted more Xenomorphs, and that's what I need. We need more Xenomorphs in this movie. I feel like they just came and went. So that is it for this review. I hope you liked it. I will be releasing my review of The Lion King soon. If you don't know what I'm talking about my top 10 favorite movies. I'm going to do a review for each one of them. And so I will start with The Lion King soon. So stay tuned for that. And that is it. and I will see you guys later.